Greetings to all the dignitaries of 10th Malaysian Hybrid Conference on Healthy Aging. I, Ms Aditi Prayag, a postgraduate physiotherapy student from SDM College of Physiotherapy, Karnataka, India, would like to start a paper presentation on the topic Perceived Barriers for Physiotherapy Telerehabilitation for Geriatrics during COVID-19 pandemic, a web-based survey. So inadequate physical activity is linked to all-cause mortality, cardiovascular disease mortality, malignancies, type 2 diabetes, decrease in the cognitive health, and disturbance to the sleep-wake cycle in the geriatric population. In the Indian geriatric population, activities such as walking, cycling, running are a popular choice of physical activity. Due to the ongoing pandemic COVID-19, community mobility has been negatively affected, thus impacting the older population and confining them to their home and increasing their sedentary time, making it difficult for them to adhere to the physical activity and sedentary behavior guidelines. Keeping this issue in mind, provision of physiotherapy exercises through telerehabilitation platform becomes a well-sought solution. As we know, telerehabilitation has shown to help geriatric population maintain, improve, and promote their health. Thus, it becomes extremely important for us to understand the perception and their perceived barriers of the geriatric population towards telerehabilitation in the Indian population. Methodology. The study was a cross-sectional web-based survey with inclusion criteria of age 60 years and above who had access to mobile phones and exclusion criteria as inability to access Android phone or computer. The source of data was patients in Hubli Dharwad city. So a 24-item questionnaire was created using Google Form and the study design was explained to the geriatric population. Then the Google Form link was shared to these people who were willing to participate, the records were collected and the descriptive analysis was done. Out of the total responses to the survey questionnaire, the participants belong to the age group of 60 to 85 years with an average BMI of 25.8 plus or minus 5, with 40% of them being diabetics. So out of the responses that we got, almost 33% of the participants knew about telerehabilitation, but none of them had experienced it. And 43% and 67% said that they had no awareness about the same. When asked if they were interested in telerehab, 57% responded with yes, and 43% did not show any interest. Yet, when we asked if they thought that it will help them improve their physical well-being, 37 responded by saying yes, 60% responded with an answer maybe, and 3% declined that they thought there would be any improvement of their physical health. When asked if it would help them improve their health, then 40% of the respondents responded with an answer yes, 57 said maybe, and 3% did not think that there would be any improvement of their health. 73% of the participants felt it may help them socialize. 16.7% believe it will definitely aid them to socialize, and 10% did not feel so. Despite this, 53% of the population, when asked if they were willing to participate in physiotherapy telerehabilitation group session, responded with a yes, whereas 46% did not show any kind of interest. Out of these 46% of the population, 29.4% said that the reason they were not interested to participate was that they were hesitant to participate due to lack of knowledge. 23% felt they did not have enough time to spare. 41% said they were not interested, and 5% said there was no requirement at present. And out of the 53% of the studied population, they were asked what they thought would be the possible barriers they might face while assessing or during the telerehabilitation session. So out of which 15.6% of the participants reported poor connectivity issue, while 9.4% reported the need of repeated instructions for understanding the process of video conferencing, high time taken to set up the required equipment, education level, and inavailability of appropriate devices. 6.3% of the participants reported lack of space to perform the exercises, language barrier, unavailability of standard table height or adequate height of furniture. Rest 3.1% reported poor light issues, difficulty in hearing, unavailability of front camera, poor audio quality, and the remaining 13% participants did not report of any such barriers. So, when we come to the discussion part, most commonly reported barriers identified by the author Carl Frohlen D, who conducted a systematic review for telemedicine in orthopedic, neurologic, and cardiovascular conditions, reported poor connectivity issues as a commonly reported barrier. Telephysical therapy rehabilitation has been rarely studied, but in our study, like theirs, identified connectivity issue as a majorly reported barrier. In another systematic review done by Almathin et al. On barriers and facilitators influencing the telemedicine, they reported barriers such as low internet speed, environmental obstruction, patient's health condition, patients requiring assistance, physical difficulty to use the system, and many more that were already mentioned in our study. So providing physical therapists with the best available data on the effectiveness of telerehabilitation will influence their decision making, which as a result will lead to better therapeutic results for the patients, both in the times of COVID-19 and in the future. So when we come to the conclusion, we see that the most commonly cited barrier was poor connectivity issue and education levels of the participants, difficulty in recalling the instructions, lack of space in the house to perform the exercises, and unavailability of appropriate devices such as smartphones, laptops, or front camera. It is also worth noting that 33% of the studied population is aware of the telerehabilitation, thus emphasizing the need of first raising the public knowledge about the service. Despite these issues, 53.3% participants were interested to participate in the physiotherapy telerehabilitation session, thus telling us that conducting telerehab session by addressing these barriers will aid in continuing the geriatric physical rehab services, hence making it a better choice of rehab in the current situation of COVID-19 pandemic by maintaining the social distancing norms. Thank you. Any queries related to the study are welcome.